Welcome to today's Research Business Daily Report, where Google says it is not going to do internet searches on jurors empaneled in its federal case against Oracle. And then Communications President Kevin Lonnie voices his strong feelings about the industry's need for a spokesperson. RBDR sponsored today and this week by RFL Communications, the research industry's premier news and inside source. Last week, we reported that U.S. District Judge William Alsup saying that he was concerned about a mistrial before a jury was even selected for an Oracle-Google lawsuit turned down a request by both the plaintiff and the defendant to obtain the names and addresses of potential jurors. Judge Alsup feared that selected jurors would be subject to overly intensive internet scrutiny. In particular, they'd be sought after for lies and omissions once they were actually selected for the jury. This situation demonstrates just how deeply the issue of personal information privacy has become in our everyday life, and research should be walking on its tippy toes as it considers adjustments, and it must make those adjustments in order to make dealings with actual and potential respondents worthwhile to both parties. And the stricter European rules of conduct for personal privacy, I think, are inevitably coming our way here in the States. In any event, back to our story, Google has volunteered not to do internet research on the jurors in the case after they are empaneled, quote-unquote, provided the ban applies equally to both parties. Oracle, by the way, does not see things that way. It disagrees with Google. Oracle attorney Peter Bick said that both companies should feel free to investigate potential and actual jurors on all kinds of information, including their demographics, bios, articles, public Twitter and other social media, blogging that has been done by them or about them, and just public information in general. Next, a few weeks ago, Communications President Kevin Lonnie blogged about his deep concern about the research industry actually doing itself a disservice by failing to have a recognized, quote-unquote, spokesperson to help insiders and outsiders understand exactly what the research business is trying to do. I'll let Kevin go deeper into the subject on his own. We had a conversation not long ago.
Well, it was called Who Speaks for the MR Industry, Bob? And it occurred to me that I've been in the industry now for a better part of 25 years. And even 10 years ago, we were talking about coming together as an industry and consolidating. And I look back over the past 10 years and I see us more fractured than ever. You know, more trade associations, more gurus, more even conferences that claim to be speaking for the MR industry. And it just occurred to me that if we're ever going to really advocate and protect the brand for more long-term growth, that we lack that level of leadership that's required.
And what would you potentially see a leader, a voice for the industry actually doing?
Well, I think most of the people who speak for the industry right now are more on the supplier side. We've had great corporate client leaders over the years, Joan Lewis, Kim Dedeker, and, currently right now with Stan at Unilever and Reed with Microsoft. But for the most part, most of the people who speak for the industry are on the supplier side or able journalists such as yourself. And I think the way the MR industry tends to work is that the corporate researchers are the head of the food chain. And unless we hear their voice speaking about changes that need to be made, we'll just kind of keep talking to ourselves.
Do you think they're motivated to really change what they do and what they expect in the research projects they assign?
I think that they have the power to make those types of changes, and I think that they are motivated to do that. But it's a matter of having, it's not just enough for one corporation to do things correctly. It's a matter for us to come together and to consolidate and to think not just in terms of short-term economic interest, and that's why we keep pounding out these 30-minute trackers, and everyone who takes it will never do a market research survey again. or we're doing mobile and we're really not doing mobile optimization well, and we keep resorting more and more on professional respondents. I think when we're this fractured, unfortunately, I think it's mostly short-term economic interest that's going to take root, and the future of the brand suffers.
Do you think the industry goes as the clients push them in a direction or multiple directions?
Of course, because they're the ones who have the money, and the economic, system is built around it. It's very difficult as a supplier to say we're not going to take this kind of business anymore, and it's just it's very difficult to do that. The change isn't going to take place at that level, and so I think it needs to take a little higher level, and that falls more in terms of leadership, I think, or a coalition of experts. Corporate clients definitely need to be part of that, but we have more and more trade associations. If anything, they've doubled in the past 10, 15 years. So I think it's hard for us to coalesce around a common direction.
That's your Research Business Daily Report, sponsored by RFL Communications, the research industry's premier news and insight source. Check out rflonline.com to find out about the information you have been missing and could be plugging into from our 4 market research newsletters and our annual Global Top 50 Market Research Organization listing. When you visit rflonline.com, you can click on the picture of the toolbox in the upper right-hand corner of our homepage. That'll whisk you to another page where you can find out our plans for the Market Research Toolbox Report, which I tell you is going to revolutionize the way industry research choices are made, both qualitative and quantitative, and the report will be out later this year. But you can still make a contribution to the toolbox. Fill out the form in your area of expertise, and every market research professional I know has 1 or 2 areas of expertise. We are also still looking for sponsors, and that can be a worthwhile investment on your part as well. Have a great research day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.